Buenas tardes, buenas noches, bienvenidos a Phasmophobia, el lugar de las voces no deseadas. Hoy tenemos un invitado, pero antes de eso voy a hacer una pequeña temática. Este episodio va a ser en inglés. Ah, Nuestro invitado es más fluido en el idioma inglés, entonces vamos a conducir esta entrevista en inglés. ¿Qué es lo que piensan sobre los sueños? Mucha gente se ha preguntado que a lo mejor los sueños son como un portal del mundo en que vivimos hacia el otro portal donde nuestros seres queridos están descansando en paz, y a veces ese espacio al que le llamamos sueños puede ser el espacio indicado para poder comunicarnos con nuestros más seres queridos. Hoy tenemos a un gran invitado, también eh, un amigo, hermano. Nos graduamos de la misma academia de policía. Nuestro amigo Frank Quesada. How you been, Frank?
Doing good, doing good.
Man, I haven't seen you in years. I mean, the last time I saw you was like 2 years ago in a barbershop.
Yeah. At Galfino Barbershop over there.
Yeah, great place. I'm still going over there, man. Once in a blue moon. Yeah, since I don't live in Laredo anymore, so man, it's great to see you, man. I saw you right now. You look different. You packed some weight, like good weight, muscles.
Just been going to the gym, trying to get bigger in case anything happens out on the road. You want to be ready for anything that the road can throw your way. So gotta lift weights, So
yeah, it's like how we were talking right now. Working out, especially in the like doing weight training is we call it a longevity to keep us young. If you want to be strong, you're 50, 60, 70s, man. And right now I saw you, bro. I do the handshake on you. I fucking did a tap in your back. Man, you're a rock star, man.
Feel like a different guy right here.
No, you look different, man.
Thank you.
You're doing pretty good, man. So, do you believe in paranormal?
I do actually. I do believe in the paranormal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In fact, that's probably maybe that's the one thing I'm honestly afraid of. I'm not even scared of really anything out on the road, but I'm afraid of ghosts for some reason. So I do believe in the paranormal. That's one of the few things that actually I believe in right there. So
right now, this episode we're gonna talk about the paranormal, but we have a special subject, and me and you, we talk about it over the text messages. So, do we start already?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start.
Have you ever wondered about the dreams? It has a significance, has a meaning. Have you ever wondered that maybe the dream is a special space that connects between the living realm and those ones that passed away, our loved ones, that maybe the dream is the environment that they use to communicate with us? Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about those dreams that has a meaning. Sometimes they want to connect with us through a person, an object, and everybody has maybe in a way dream about that special someone that is different from a regular dream through a dream when a loved one visiting you in your dreams. It's more vivid, the environment, the colors more structured, it's the strong of feelings is different. Is that you're living the life through the dreams, and most of the difference between a regular dream and the visitation of our loved ones is different, because you can still remember the touch, the colors, the smell that stays. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's spot on right there. So basically what's been going on is I've been having a lot of dream visitations of my aunt who passed away 8 years ago. And that's spot on with the smells and the way that the touch is and everything like that. Mainly, I dream a lot about her home, right? And we used to go to her home a lot when I was younger. Every time we would go to San Antonio, we would always stay at her house and everything like that. So it's just so vivid whenever I'm in that space right there. I can even smell the way it smells. Even thinking about it right now, it's almost like I can just go back in my mind and be there. So that's spot on right there.
And you can tell the difference between a regular the average dream versus the
Oh
this
yeah.
type of dreams
Yeah.
that it's a figment of an added to the imagination of the. It's not a figment that adding to the imagination of a dream. When you have a dream of the visitation of a loved one, it's like how we're living right now. Something that you just like the smell is familiar.
It feels like they're there.
You wake up and you still remember each one of the details that you dream about that dream,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, those dreams are the kind that stick with you and they don't fade away for a long time.
So tell me a little bit more about your tia, your aunt.
Okay, well, so when she was alive, she was an attorney. She graduated from UT Law in the 1980s, and she lived in San Antonio, and she was a public defender. From what I hear from her colleagues, a lot of people that knew her, they say she was brilliant. She was an expert at what she did. She was able to overturn cases that, probably shouldn't have been not guilty, right? She was just so good at her craft, which is weird because now as a police officer, it's like we're kind of like on the other side of the public defender side. We're trying to catch people. We're trying to put them like in jail, basically, with the probable cause that we find. We want convictions, right? And it's just so weird how she was a public defender and like just so good at it,
Yeah.
It just kind of makes you think. Well, either way though, so she would practice law in San Antonio, had a great career, and she was like the fun act, really. She was like the one that you always wanted to like be around. She would take us to get toys and things like that. And she always seemed like kind of like the aunt that was just outgoing, She just always had a fun spirit about her. You ask friends and family, and that's the one thing they talk about, her personality. She was just so free-spirited, which is kind of like a contrast to like being in like a courtroom, how everything is just so structured. Outside of the courtroom, she was just very like unstructured, So she was just great, honestly. Aside from like her accomplishments, she was just a great person to be around, honestly.
So right now you mentioned that your aunt. If you don't want to say her name, that's fine. We can keep it on. Like
We could go ahead and say it. So her name was Hilda Valadez. Well, that's how they would say it in San Antonio. You have to say it that way or else they're not going to know who you're talking about. It was but we referred to her as Tia Hilda, Hilda Quesada. But in her professional environment, they referred to her as Hilda Valadez because that was the name that she took in her first marriage to her first husband. Well, it was her only husband, actually. They ended up getting divorced somewhere down the line. I'm not too familiar with it, but Hilda Valadez was her professional name.
You mentioned that she was a defendant,
Public defender.
public
Yes.
defender, right? Which is in the law enforcement world, that's not our enemy, but
Say that's like the other team right there,
right there, right? So, have you ever heard about the medium? Medium or bridge is a connection. Sometimes it may be a person. They use that as a bridge to convey a message, an insight or warning from our loved ones to the living ones. So it breaks in three. It can be a trance, from the spiritual, the trance, and the physical. The trance means that a person can be used as a medium, and a person can go in a trance station and connect with the spirit of the deceased person in order to communicate with the people with the loved ones in the living realm.
Okay.
The spiritualism, the spirit one is going through visions. They see in dreams. They can connect with that person, with the spirit of that person through a vision or through a dreams, and then can interpret the dreams as a type of communication, a warning. And the third one, the physical, you have a combination of both.
Yeah, actually.
The physical, it can be an item, an object that the person before the passing of the person was very connected to an item and used that item as a bridge of connection between the undead and the living. Now, I will go back in a little bit in history. In the hemisphere in China, they used to believe that when that happened, this that person that passed away, either they used three of those that I mentioned before right now, either the physical, the trance, or the spirit one. They try to connect with the living ones, with the loved ones, because they leave something unsolved.
So, as far as different types of mediums go, I was actually told that my grandmother was a medium back in the 60s, 70s. She used to read tarot cards to people. So, my aunt, my father, that whole side of the family, they grew up really poor. They lived in one of the poorest areas of Laredo during that time. And apparently, my grandmother was a tarot card reader. She actually stopped doing that because a lot of the things that she would predict in the tarot cards started coming true, such as people dying and things like that. So she felt that maybe some things are best left not to be known. Maybe she even felt a little guilty that the cards that she dealt maybe influenced some of the things that happened around as well.
And that happened, I mean, in your grandma from your side?
Yes, from my father's side of the family.
There's a lot of connections about the episode that we're gonna talk about it.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't even started. So, your grandma from your side from the side of your father, right?
Yes, my father's side of the family. Yep.
From the side of your family. So she stopped because everything that she would predict it would happen.
Yes, she was making accurate predictions, and some of those predictions dealt with death, and she just felt maybe she was responsible, maybe we just shouldn't know, maybe she just wasn't the right person to deliver the message, but apparently a lot of her predictions came true. Now, that being a medium, I believe it is something that gets passed down from generation to generation. It went from my grandmother, was passed to my father, and I think it may have been passed down to me. But we'll see a little bit in this story right here if some of the dots are connected.
Yeah. So what was your first thought when I mentioned that three part of the mediums?
I felt that well, I believe
Your
that
grandma came to your head. I mean, obviously
she came to my head with when you mentioned the spiritual medium right there, because I feel like she had that ability to connect with spirits and things like that. I'm not saying that I'm like that good. She was probably on like a way higher level than that, because she actually developed that. But from what I've been experiencing lately, I feel maybe I have a little bit of my grandmother in me as well.
I mean, it's passing down.
Could
So
be.
it makes a lot of sense now. It makes a lot of sense. With that information they just gave me, how I'm gonna conduct the interviews makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Now you're telling me your aunt was a public defender. You're law enforcement, right? You're the second generation law enforcement.
No, I'm actually the first police officer ever in our family,
So
actually.
that makes sense. That makes sense. You're the first generation. Generation. That means that you can see spot on things that a normal person cannot. So I don't know. It doesn't have to be like a really close relationship to your family, but since you're the first person as a law enforcement, she's a public defender. You can see stuff that other people cannot see. So
Yeah.
you
Kind of like the same way she was able to see stuff that like other people weren't able to see, like with the cases she exonerated people and things like that. Yeah, I could see how that could work right there.
Yeah. So have you had those dreams about your head?
Yes. So, a lot of the I'll go a little bit into why, maybe kind of what these dreams sort of mean right there, right? I think the dreams that I have a lot to deal with the manner in which how she died, right? So before she passed away, right? I said that she was a public defender, had a great career in San Antonio. Um, she, I'm not sure why she did it or what was going on, but she kind of like swayed away from what was right and wrong for a bit, right? Apparently, she ended up maybe forging a signature or committing some type of fraud in the courtroom in the judicial process, and she was disbarred over it, right? Not only disbarred, she had to serve 1 year in prison. Okay. When she got out, she really wasn't the same. You know, she was very depressed. She couldn't really hold a job after that. It seemed like when the law was taken away from her, there was like a big piece of her life that was just missing, and she just couldn't hold it together after that. Well, on my brother's birthday, October 23rd, 2016, she called my grandfather hysterical over, I'm not sure what, you know, she just called him crying. And we were in the middle of cutting my brother's cake. And he didn't tell us this until way after the fact, right? He said, I'll call you back, please, please. You know, we're about to cut the cake. We're about to do all this stuff. And she didn't want to get off the phone. He ended up hanging up the phone. We cut the cake. We sang happy birthday. We did all of that stuff. He tried calling her back and nothing. No answer. Tried again later that night. Nothing. Tried over the next several days. No answer, right? Finally, on October 31st, 2016, which is Halloween, they decided my grandfather and his oldest granddaughter decided to go, his oldest daughter, which would be my oldest tia right there, they decided to go to San Antonio to check on her, right? My other tia, she had a key, right? Knock on the door, nobody answers. They decide to let themselves in, and that's where they discover her, you know, in her room, deceased, right? So, I mean, really, we don't truly know what ended up happening to her, right? There's all speculation and things like that, but there was never anything concrete, right? They just found her deceased, and we ended up cremating her, paying our respects and all of that. Well, so this kind of ties into what I want to talk about with the dreams, because the room that they found her in, right, I feel that room has been in my dreams lately. So a lot of the times when I dream of my aunt, I dream of having to go into that room, and I just don't want to do it. There's just something in me that like I just can't cross the door into that room, you know, and it's always like the same thing, and it's pretty terrifying, honestly. And I don't know what it is, but I just can't go in there, right? It just feels like there's a heaviness or like a sadness or like just like a presence that just doesn't allow me to. So I try doing everything I can in these dreams not to go and see what's inside that room. So
What you think is what you think, or what crossed your mind if you entered that room, what's gonna happen?
death, honestly. You just have that overwhelming sense of impending doom in that room, and it's just something that I can't go into. Now, it's not like every dream of my aunt is like a nightmare like that. When she first passed and I would see her, they were kind of like, I would see her in my dream and I knew I was dreaming, because it's like, no, wait, you're not here. You've passed over. Like this is clearly a dream. And it was kind of just like run-of-the-mill dreams. Like I would see her, she'd kind of like show her presence. It wasn't a scary presence. It wasn't really anything. It's kind of like if she was watching over me or something, but I never felt frightened. But as time went by, she kind of like took a back seat of the dream, and it became about more like the room, the place that she passed. So, I mean, I don't know what it is about that. Maybe she's trying to like tell me something about it, trying to convey maybe the emotions that she felt when she was in that room. And I'm telling you, it's scary. It's like being in the one place in the world that you do not want to be, and it's in that room. I'll tell you.
So, based on what you're telling me, your aunt has she went through depression, anxiety before her passing. She called you guys on your brother's birthday. There's a lot of like right now that you're telling me this, all these facts now is confirming my theory that when somebody passes away like that, emotionally, especially like they didn't seek peace before they passing away, they have an unsolved business. I don't know if she knew that you were on the transition to become a cop or
Well, I'm not sure if she was even aware of that during that time, honestly.
yeah, because on October the 2016
We were in our first police academy.
yeah.
And actually, the day that they found her, the 31st, that's when we went to go see that autopsy too. So even stranger that like these events just kind of like come together at once, you know?
For how long have you been having these dreams?
Probably since 2016, actually. So it's almost been a decade already that these dreams come on and off, and it didn't used to have it. It's not like it happens every single night, right? When it first started, it was maybe once every couple of months or once every 4 months, but lately it's been a lot more frequent. And I'm not sure why it's picking up again, but maybe she's trying to tell me something, you know?
It has. So they've been escalated the dreams.
Yes.
I'm not saying the frequency, but
The intent.
the intent and the
Yeah.
emotions.
The emotions have become more intense in the dreams as the years have gone on, definitely.
Yeah, because but this is the thing. Like you mentioned something key that you see her, but you don't feel like afraid of her. You see her, you cannot. In a way, you feel kind of happy. Like hey,
Yeah, it's good to see her actually. Yeah.
you feel like I know you're not alive, but what are you doing here? But like as the same token, you're like happy to see you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something that most of those cases when it seems to be, I don't know, I'm just right now it's just my theory that I believe they're not allowed to talk to the loved ones, but like they want to convey a message by signals, by images, objects, something. Like you can see physically, but like that person cannot talk to you. And I mean, you're not that first person that ever told me that, or they shared me that type of experience. That hey, I saw my brother, and it's one of the stories that one of my friends they shared me that they saw their brother pass away, and the same way you're telling me right now that they see it, that they're not allowed to talk. He can talk to him, but he cannot respond back. It's very rarely when you see you have a dream of your loved one.
Wow.
And you're holding a conversation. Even my mom told me that that she will have a dream of my grandpa, his father, and that she tries to talk to him, and sometimes
No, yeah, they don't speak actually.
they don't speak.
Yeah.
They're just there physically in the dream. But like you said, like my mom said the same thing. Like it's so so warming. I can even smell the colors I even smell the colors. Smell the essence of my old house every time I dream of my dad. That it feels like I'm at home again when I was a little kid, and I wake up sad. I wake up like I'm still I will still want to keep dreaming because I feel like my dad, which is my grandpa, is trying to convey a message to my mom, but my mom, in a way, she's trying to unveil what type of message that my grandpa was trying to convey. And I believe that it's happening that to you, that as soon as you graduate from just think about it. You're about to graduate from the police academy. That happened. Then you start having dreams about your aunt. Did anything happen on the funeral, or did you saw something that you know what only maybe you can spot on because of your training or because think about it or not, maybe some people they don't know, but like when you go into a police academy, you're twitching, your personality in a different level. Your training, your thing to see life is different. You can see more details. You can, and you're barely in the police academy now. Through going through your career, you see, I mean, you develop more those skills
Oh yeah.
to see any small little detail. So I don't know if you have you seen something.
Yeah, so this would have been, I think, November 5th or November 6th. So this was about 5 days after she passed. We were holding, we didn't have a funeral, right? Because we cremated her.
Yeah.
But we had something at my aunt's house, my middle aunt, the middle child, as just to pay our respects. It was just like a brunch. It was a very nice brunch. She had a table set up. A lot of other family came. Well, we all stood up and paid our respects, shared a fond memory we had of my tia Hilda. And when my aunt went up, the owner of the house, my tia Lola, she went up to speak. She was wearing a pearl necklace, right? And she mentioned something that even though Hilda is gone, she's still around us all the time. And right as she said that, that pearl necklace of hers snapped like if somebody pulled it and all the pearls went all around the floor. And it was just so, it couldn't have been coincidence. It was literally right as she said that, that necklace snapped, like letting us know, like, hey, we're here right now. I'm still here. I'm still here with you all. So don't forget me. So, but yeah, that's one thing that not only I saw, but everybody else there saw. Now, whether or not everybody else there was able to connect the dots or think of it in that terms, like the way that I was thinking about it, that's another story. But I know what I saw, and it was definitely Tia Duda doing that right there.
And knowing you, Quesada, you're a bright person. You're really smart. Man, you're the out of 33 that we graduate. You're the second best.
Yeah, it was the second one. Yeah.
I mean, a person like you, that you're very bright. You're very analytical. You will first go to the process elimination. Like something could have happened, like the necklace you mentioned. You try to do the process elimination. That could happen. For you to say that was leaning more to the paranormal, because you already made the whole analytical stuff, and then
yeah, I thought for a second, oh man, what a coincidence. But I thought, no way.
There's no way.
That's not a coincidence right there.
How a necklace is gonna snap just like that?
Yeah, a beautiful pearl necklace just popped right all over the place. So
stuff that you cannot explain, and that's why we call it paranormal. That there stuff we no explanation, that it doesn't feel in the normal environment. So that's why we lean into the paranormal, because we want to indulge more. We're gonna investigate more deeper. Like, what is it? Like that necklace. Like when you told me that, I was like, damn, like.
So that's like one of the physical things that I've seen. I've had one where it's not only a dream, but something physical happened at the same time too. So, and this is the most recent one. This is the one I actually reached out to you over.
Mm-hmm.
So this was probably literally maybe a week ago, right? A week ago as of filming this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of those dreams where I had to go into my aunt's room to clear out all of her things after she died, right? That was like I don't even know who told me to do it, but I just know that was my duty in the dream. Like I had to go in there, clear the room, and I did not want to do it. Like I could not go into that room. That sense of impending doom just rushed over me, right? And so I just walked away from the house. I just walked away, and it's literally, I'm walking through the neighborhood that I probably walked through 100 times before. I still remember all the trees, all the oak trees, all the old mansions and stuff like that in that area. And I woke up, right? So I had had enough already. So I told my aunt, I said, look, I know you want to see me in my dreams. I know you're trying to tell me something, but we can't we can't keep doing this, you know. This is just not good for me. And I have 2 children now too. Like, I don't want you going into their dreams or anything like that, you know. Now, as a father, you kind of got to like think of your kids too. So I said, look, you just can't come into my dreams anymore. You're not allowed to, right? So I start going back to sleep, and right as I'm going back to sleep, I hear a dog bark in my ear. And it's so weird that the dogs are barking right now too. I heard like a dog go "Woof," like right into my ear. And I woke up and I'm like, I laughed because when I was little, and this goes back to my aunt's outgoing personality, when she would take us places, if she would see somebody jogging on the side of the street, or like a gardener gardening like a lawn or something, she used to roll down her windows and bark at them. She used to go "Roof," like that, and like make people like turn around. And I shit you not, right before I fell asleep, right before as I was falling asleep, I heard that same dog bark in my ear, like just like if it was right next to me, and it made me laugh because it's just so ridiculous. Like, it was like her way of saying, no, I'm not done. I'm not leaving. I'm not done yet. And you're going to hear me out, and you're going to hear this dog bark right here because I'm going to let you know I'm still here.
Maybe she's trying to tell you something, and she's probably left something unveiled. Not, I mean, something that in that room that is inside that only you as a law enforcement can look into it and resolve it. I mean, it can either you can go into the room, either in your dreams or in real life. I mean, not real life. While you're awake. That part that you tell me is like it's a clearly message from her, like trying to give you a signal, like, no, I'm staying. I'm not leaving. I don't know if they're. I mean, right now you mentioned your kids, and that was something I wanted to ask you. That whenever you have your first child, that if those dreams have been increasing more.
I'd say so, actually. Yeah, because they have definitely picked up within the last 2 years, and that's just right around the time that I had my first son. Then I had my second son a year later. So yeah, it definitely coincides with them being born. And you know, babies cry at night. That's just like a normal part. But sometimes, like, I'll hear them cry in their room, like an ugly, scared cry, like if they saw something or like if they felt something. And I know it's because they had a nightmare, and you can't help but think, like, hey, is something scaring them? Are they seeing that room? Are they feeling that? You know, are they feeling what I'm feeling? You know, so it's just, that's really why I told her, like, you can't keep doing this. But apparently she wants to stick around for a little bit, you know.
It's a balance on the dream that you see your tia, your aunt, you feel like, oh, happy to see you, but when you see that room, it gives you that sensation of death, sadness.
Yeah.
What about courage? Like, not courage, angriness. Do you feel any
Anger? No, it's just doom, sorrow, I guess you could say. And it was probably the emotions that she was going through, probably as she was trying to call my grandfather, you know, for her last cry for help. I don't know, you know. We still don't know what happened, you know. We may never find out what happened.
Well, do you know what was the cause of the death?
I do not. I don't have that. The only people that would have that information would be her ex-husband and probably her daughter. But if they know what happened, they've never told us. So
yeah, because when somebody lives the world as with feeling a lot of a charge of feelings, which is in the combination with sorrowness, depression, sadness, fear, is more clearly there. Leave this world with unfinished or unsolved business. Now, maybe her daughter is having the same dream that you're having. You, and particularly because being the first law enforcement, it's a connection there. It's a connection in a way that she's a public defender. Me, like you mentioned, how we mentioned right now at the beginning, that is our enemy, but we coexist in the same environment, right? So maybe she's trying to communicate with you that only you as a law enforcement can see stuff that other people cannot see, cannot watch, cannot, spawn on. And I don't know about your brother that he has this type of dreams.
He's never mentioned any dreams in particular about my aunt to me. Recently I did give my aunt Lola a call to see, like, maybe get a little bit more info, but she seems to know just as much as I do about what ended up happening to her. But she does say that she has dreams from time to time about her sister as well. So
Do you get something, an item or something from your aunt? Because sorry for that.
yeah, go ahead.
Remember that third part of the medium,
The physical.
the physical one. It can be an object, an item.
So right before my police academy, actually, she gifted me an office chair of hers. It was the chair that she would sit at, do her work in. It was just a beautiful leather chair with studs, wooden legs. Like, it was a great chair, and it was pretty comfy too. She gifted me that chair right before the police academy started, and I spent a lot of time in that chair studying, actually. Like, that was one of the chairs that...
I think I've seen that chair before.
Yeah, I believe so. When you came over and we'd study,
Yeah,
literally the chair that I would sit in and roll in and stuff.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
I went to your house to study the transportation, right?
Transportation and penal code. I remember you came to my house to study penal code, and we'd listen to, like, music and just, like, study penal code. And
I
stuff.
remember that chair, because I do remember that chair.
Yep, it was like a blue leather, wooden, like cherry wood legs. Like, it was a good chair,
And you know how I remember that chair? Because you liked it a lot. And you always like go
always squeaking and rolling.
squeaking and rolling
Yeah.
like that. I remember that chair now that you mention it.
Yeah. Well, so she gifted it to me, and after she passed, we kept that chair. I went through literally the whole police academy. I sat in that chair every night that I would study, and I would study hours a night, even on the weekends too. Saturday, Sunday, I devoted like 12 hours a day studying, which, like, it's a little bit strange because I could imagine her sitting on that chair devoting 12 hours a day to her craft also. So it's like if I was sitting in the same chair that she was giving it her all in. Well, after she passed, after I went through the police academy, I became an officer. That chair would roll around my room by itself. Like, nobody would be sitting in it, nothing. It would just be like, I'd be on my bed watching TV, and you could hear it like rolling around. Sometimes you'd even be downstairs and you could hear it rolling around upstairs too. So that chair would definitely move on its own. This one I have actually have an eyewitness to this one too. So back when my wife was my girlfriend, we were sleeping in my bed, right? And we woke up in the middle of the night to a violent shaking, something going doom, 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 doom. It was the chair. The chair was shaking violently on its own. And, like, we woke up and we're like, what is that?
Yeah.
It was the chair, and we both saw it. That chair was violently shaking, and then it just stopped. And we were kind of like scared, but for some reason we felt like good enough to go back to sleep after something like that. Like, you'd think that we'd be like terrified over it, but we literally, I don't know, we just thought, oh no, I remember what I said. I said it must be the AC making it shake. Makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. But, in like a half awake, half dreamy state, you're like, you just kind of want to wake up and you go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But that chair was shaking on its own, So.
And like I said before, you're very analytical. You were like, maybe the AC, but now that you're half awake, half asleep, right? So you were not like
you're trying to think of
Yeah.
something like, hey, no, there's no way this chair could be shaking like that. Think of what it could be. Try to connect the dots right here.
Yeah, and I mean, it has very clearly. So that then when that happened, never, maybe not right there and then, but maybe after, did your hand come to your head, come to your mind, that maybe your tia trying to send you a message?
Yeah, almost like immediately after I like thought of like that excuse, it's like, no, like that's the ayuda right there.
Yeah.
Like it has to be, that's she was shaking the chair. There's just nothing else that could make a chair shake like that.
Yeah, it was your tia that gave you then.
So it actually did, like immediately after I came up with like that lame excuse of why the chair would be shaking, it literally like clicked, like it had to be my aunt. There's just no other explanation. And literally immediately, like after that analytical, that analytical thought came to my head, it's like, nah, there's no way. How could it be the AC unit? Like it doesn't do things like that. So that's how I knew it was definitely my aunt doing that.
No, and I feel you, because whenever you wake up, have a sleep, have a wake. Let me tell you, I mean, a little bit story about uh, one of my paranormal activities that I have. Similar, I mean, since you mentioned when you wake up, you want to go back to sleep. At that time, I was talking. Oh, I was engaged with this person, so I only see her, I would say, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, because probably as you remember, I used to live in by Bruni, Knowlton, and she was in Laredo, it's like a 45-minute drive or an hour. But every night, guess how we would talk on the phone for 4 hours, 5 hours. Wow. On the phone, I try to keep the contact, alive. And I do remember it was summer, and we were on the phone. I woke up and I opened my eyes, and I heard, like, how you heard the bark.
Mm-hmm.
I heard some, like, the same voice as my fiance. Levántate, amor. Wake up, love. I was like, I'm 5 more minutes, and like half awake, half asleep. 5 more minutes. I need to sleep more, and then like get to my sense. Like, no, wait, I live by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, started looking around the house. Like, did I heard that I just heard? Like, it sounds so clearly. Like the sound of her voice, everything. It was like her, and not only that, like, so I started investigating about the house, because it was not the first time I dealt with paranormal activity in that house when I was living over there in those towns. And like I said, like we were talking before the recording, that you asked me if I ever what made me to start doing this about paranormal stories, because I never dealt with something like that here well, not here, but when I used to live in Laredo or Mexico. I never dealt with any paranormal, not that I remember, until I lived in that town.
Wow.
Until I lived in that town, I started, like, you know what, see stuff, hear stuff, hear like stuff like I don't wanna get myself involved. Like, I would just like do the other way around. And in the jail facility, and I mentioned that on the last episode, that I saw this inmate, the standing in one of the inmate cells. At that moment, I honestly am leaning more that I maybe was tired. It was graveyard. Maybe my mind was playing games, but that was scary. But like, I'm like you're, I'm like you in a way that I need to do the process of elimination, being more analytical, because like I said, like, yeah, once you do the analytical stuff and you have no other choice, that no other explanation, you lean to the paranormal.
You have to. That's really the only logical explanation, and it's so illogical, but it's the only thing that makes
Yeah.
sense in that situation.
Yeah, and like it's like you mentioned, like about going back to your tia, the necklace that you saw that chopped out, that doesn't make no sense. A necklace cannot pop like that. Like, just there's no physical, no physical explanation.
Logical explanation, and it's so illogical, but it's the only thing that makes sense in that situation.
Yeah, and like it's like you mentioned, like about going back to your tia, the necklace that you saw that popped out, that doesn't make no sense. A necklace cannot pop like that, like just there's no physical explanation to that. Also the movement of the chair, like there's a lot of things that you as as an officer, and not only as an officer, but how you work is I'm always seeing you as a very smart person, bro. That you're very analytical. You're always thinking about what could happen, any reasonable explanation. And I know for you to go and say that it's paranormal, there's no other logical explanation to this, it means a lot, man.
I couldn't think of one actually, so
It means a lot. So
thank you.
like it's very heavy what you're telling me. Has a strong amount of emotion, that room. If you ask me why I think about this, I know that you don't want to go inside to that room, but I believe you need to. Maybe you will see the right moment or the right time to do it, because I feel your aunt, your tia, maybe you were not, I don't know if you were close to her when she was alive.
I believe I was. I feel like I was.
So if you were close to her, not only that you were close to her, but like since she chose you, because I will be honest, because of your career, the person you are, very analytical, I think you're the only person can and will solve this. And she's still trying to contact you in a way that, please help me, is like, because you don't know when it's something like evil. Just by seeing your tia in your dreams, you will feel some sort of a fear whenever you see her. But you told me you don't. You feel happy that you see your tia, but at the same time you feel strange about that room. Now it being escalated to the point that, yeah, she's not more aggressive, but she's like more
Like persistent.
more consistent in those dreams. That like I asked you, that's why I asked you, like, since when you had your firstborn, has been escalating more the dreams that you told me. Yeah, I mean, actually, yeah, from I think 2 years ago, right? So she's looking for you. If you're not gonna do it, somebody is gonna choose another person. I believe that's my theory, and like I said, I'm not an expert, but like I'm basing on the experience and stories that I heard in the past. The ones they seek for help, or they look and solve the problem, they start like resting more in peace. They can do the how can you say this? They can cross over 100%. So right now, I'm not saying that she's in the limbo, but like she's reaching out to you for a reason, and I believe that maybe on her ideology of her, like, you're the only person who can do this. And I know, I'm pretty sure I know you can. Like, I have no doubt about it. But like you said, like, I don't want to have your dreams. But when you tell me, like, when I ask you, like, what you feel on that room, like, what you reference to that room, and you told me that, I was like, if I were you, I don't blame you. You're hesitating to go in. But I feel sooner or later you have to go in and find out. And the dreams, like, you will know when. So I don't know what you thought about that. Like, have you think about it? Like, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I have to do. Just it's just when you're in the dream, it's like you're in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
you have to consciously, like, really, like, focus on it. And I just got to do it.
And I apologize if I'm telling you you have to do it.
But it's true. Maybe that's what needs to be done right there.
Yeah. And I'm saying I apologize because I don't want to imagine the magnitude of the dream, how it is for you to say, like, it isn't scary, like it giving you that sense of of dead, or I mean, once you see that room, I believe it, man. I mean, like, your strength, you're a really brave person, and for you to say that, bro, is like, I don't want to I don't want to be in your place.
Right, yeah.
But like, but that's the reason why they're reaching out for you, because you're the only person who can do it. And let me tell you about, and I mean, one of the experiences that I had, my my cousin, my prima, a while back, I was like 16, 17. Is something similar what you're telling me?
Yeah.
16, 17. I was 16, 17 years old. So she got, I mean, I don't know if have you heard about the Zetas cartel
Yes.
back in the day?
Mhm.
Back in the day, I would say, like, I was early 2000, 1999. I would say, no, wait, 2001 through 2004.
Yeah.
Around that time in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, the Zetas cartels, they will kidnap people, they will take away vehicles and block the streets. Before the Zetas cartel took over, before the Zetas cartel took over Mexico, Nuevo Laredo, there was this, not drug lord, but they call him El Chacho.
Okay.
Uh, so Zetas cartel came along, they took over Nuevo Laredo, and when I mean, you know, right? When they took
Yeah.
over, they the drug lords that was in charge of Nuevo Laredo, how we call the plaza. So back then, my cousin was dating one of them, or I don't want to say something that I shouldn't say in a way that I don't know the straight facts. But
Yeah.
I was a little kid, man.
Mhm.
That's what I heard in the past. So yes, I was close to my prima. I was a kid. I was really close. But when that guy got killed, that drug lord, he was killed in Monterrey. My prima also disappeared. We never heard about her.
Wow.
We never, yeah, like, it was like, she just disappeared from this planet. And I was very close to her, very close to her. But my brother said the same thing you told me, and he wasn't not that close to her, that he was having dreams about her. And I remember at that time I was getting jealous, like, bro, shut the fuck. You never get along with my prima. You were never close to her.
Mhm.
Why are you having those dreams? But I was like, me thinking about as a kid, like, as a jealousy. But now that I mentioned my brother, he was in a way similar to her.
Mm.
The way of thinking. My brother's a really, really bright person.
Yeah.
He's really smart. But there was something about him that she was connected with my prima through the dreams. And to this day, he hasn't mentioned anything about her. We never touched the subject anymore. But right now, it's something that I just thought about it.
Wow.
Just thought about it that I used to be really close with her, but like, I never have it. I did have some dreams. It was very, like, very minimal. My dreams that I had about my prima is that I will see her in my house eating. It's like how the beginning of the episode where we talk about, it's a very vivid dream that you see her, that me is missing my prima, and the colors, the smell, everything is so vivid that it's not your average dream. That when you wake up thinking about that. But my brother has different type of dreams that she was trying to tell him something, and that's weird. That's weird. Like, and it's the same. I mean, I'm not saying that happened to your tia, but like how my prima passed away or got disappeared when this guy, the drug lord that used to be in charge of Nuevo Laredo, got disappeared by the Zetas cartel. Then when she got disappeared, her past was really aggressive. Like I was mentioning to you before, that
Yeah.
whenever somebody passed away or passed on solving something, because my cousin, my prima, she left in this world 2 daughters. So I believe that is the reason that she was trying to contact my brother in the dreams. Um, I don't know why. Like I said, like he wasn't that close to her, but I remember, and I'm saying this because if you're mentioning your tia that you have those that connection, he had that connection. I don't know how, but he had that connection with my cousin.
It's just so strange how like you really don't get to choose if you're picked or not. They're the ones that like pick for you.
Exactly. They're the one that pick you. They pick you for something. Like me, I'll be honest. I was a kid, man. I was just like living my life as a teenager. Yes, I miss my prima a lot. I miss her a lot every single day. But like the experience that you shared to me, now that I'm thinking like that also happened in my family, but with my brother, not with me. That I did not have those type of dreams with her. Like the dreams that I had about her is that she was back home, and then I was trying. Some dreams I was like, what are you doing? Like I've been with all the family, my mom, my dad, my tias. We've been looking for you. Like, are you okay? Are you good? Like, because for one time, bro, just before she's one of the reasons I became a cop. Since that happened, the uh, I built up an anger. I built up an anger against the drug cartels because of that. Then I become a cop. But then, like, I was in denial that now my prima, she's still alive. She's still alive. But then as I grew up, I become older, more wiser, more experienced in life. She's not gonna come back. But like, I'll be honest. I will wish that she will contact me in my dreams and not my brother.
Does she still contact your brother in his dreams, or he just haven't really?
I don't know. He hasn't talked to me about that. We haven't touched the subject in years. But I remember that for a while he was very consistent about talking about the subject to the point I was like, why did you choose you? Why not me? But like I said, that was me being a teenager.
Yeah.
But that is some conversation I would like to have with him, like if he's still dreaming about her.
Or maybe he somehow figured out a way to help her pass on or something.
Yeah.
That would be pretty useful. I'd like some of that information right there. Maybe I could apply it to myself, you know?
Yeah.
If he was successful, what did he do to successfully help his relative do that too?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I will come to him what he did, because knowing my brother, he would have if that would have continued, he still would have mentioned it.
yeah.
He has to mention over the years, and I was telling you that I'm telling you right now that happened. I would say more than 20 years. Yeah, my prima, she was gorgeous. She was really young. She has 2 kids. Right now, her kids, when she disappeared, her 2 daughters, they were 2 years old and 5 years old.
Wow.
Right now, each one of them, one is like 20 some, and the other one is also in her 20s. So that was way back, like I said, like in the early 2000s, when the secret cartels starting strong in Olaredo. So when the secret cartels starting strong, and they tried to control the plaza from Olaredo, from the previous drug dealers from Olaredo. So man, it was a shit show back then.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, man, like we need to investigate more about how can help you. Like,
Yeah, definitely. I would any pointers or anything like that. You know, if I do dream about it again, hopefully I don't, right? But it just seems like it's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I gotta I guess just control the fear and just see what she wants to tell me.
Yeah, I noticed that you have a cross. Are you sort of religion?
Yeah, I try to be a practicing Catholic, you know, like I really don't go to church all that often, but since I had my sons, I'm trying to bring religion into their lives. So, every night before we go to bed, I know I didn't do it tonight because we were setting up all the camera equipment, but I usually like reading a little bit of the Bible to my boys to help them fall asleep. So, and then we got a Bible right here. So,
I always carry a Bible, man, and like I was always mentioned in the previous episodes, we're forgetting about the Bible a lot, and that's cool what you're doing, like reading the Bible to your children. Right now, the world is changing to the negative that even in Amazon you can buy a Ouija board. That's so dumb. But I was asking you about if you're into if you're practice you're a religious person. I am. Sometimes because of work. With I mean, you work on Sundays or you're busy.
Yeah.
But you are, as long you have God in your heart, man. Like you will be in the safe side. Have you ever reached out to I don't know, like priests, pastors?
No, actually, have not tried going that route.
I might interview a deacon. I don't know, that's the right word. This is one of the priest is
He's like a higher rank.
yeah.
He's like a sergeant, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
you can say so. I don't know what's the professional name, a deacon or dean. I'm sorry, man.
I think it's deacon, actually.
Deacon.
Yeah.
So I'm in the work to interview that person. So I mean, I'm gonna interview him. You're more than welcome. You wanna join to the interview?
Oh yeah, that would be great. I'd love to hear what he has to say.
And we can tell him about your situation.
He's the one of the local deacons here in Laredo, or
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay, that'd still be good. I wouldn't mind going up there to see what he has to say.
Yeah.
It'd be very useful.
Yeah, I will. Like once I set it up the interview and everything. I'm gonna contact you if you want to join us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So this is gonna be the first. Well, not the first. In English, it's gonna be the first episode we got.
Part 1, part 2, maybe part 3. We'll see how long we could take this one right here.
Yeah, man. Another story that you can share us, man. You're more than welcome.
Oh, definitely.
I like the dynamic that we have right now, brother. Like
it's fun because, I wanted to do this a lot right here just because I haven't seen you in so long. I just wanted to have a few hours just to shoot the shit with you, really. So it was good. And I mean, you came all the way down here, because it's not a close drive. I mean, well, for us, since we drive all day, it's not that bad. But it's still, for most people, it is a long drive. So I'm so glad that you came down here, shared your experiences, all this equipment right here. This is cool stuff, I'd never really seen a setup this complex over here. So this is cool.
And this is the beginning, bro. The first episode. I hope we can do more, part 3, 4, 5, and you never know, it's gonna be big, man.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be big, and maybe you can convince your brother.
Right, I will. He loves this stuff right here. I'll even ask him, hey, have you had any dreams lately? I know he has dreams about work for sure. Maybe we could even do a little bit about that right there too, because that would be some good stuff. I'll ask him about that right there.
Tell him I'll take my setup everywhere, anywhere, whenever you want, man. I love doing this. I like spreading the word of Jesus, and also you mentioned, that's just amazing what you're doing, man. To your children, bring the religion to them, because nowadays you have seen already on social media everything that's happening, so.
Oh yeah, it's just becoming, the state of the world, man. Just as you move away from God, it's just, what is there? What's left after that? And we're starting to experience a world moving away from God like that, and it's not a place where I want my kids to be, right? No. So I'm going to try to show them the right stuff. That way they have no doubt as to what they should believe in.
Yeah, no, having a father like you, bro, I have no doubt they're gonna be great kids. They're great young adults, and they're gonna succeed in life.
Thank you.
Well, Quesada, man, it was a pleasure having you in this podcast, man. I hope this is many more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good seeing you, bro. You look strong. You look solid, man.
Thank you. And I'm only gonna get bigger for the next one too. So
Yeah, man.
we'll see it.
10, 20 more pounds.
Oh hell yeah. All right.